Inner Traditions Audio presents The Fall of Spirituality, The Corruption of Tradition in the Modern World, by Julius Evola. Read by Michael Moynihan. Introduction. Julius Evola and Modern Spiritualism, by Hans Thomas Haeckel. Translated from the original German by Michael Moynihan. The direct quotations from Italian, that is, quotes by Evola, and Evola's translations of Paul Tillich, have been translated by Jocelyn Godwin. Part 1. The Development. The question of how one might distinguish authentic schools of wisdom, those with real access to transcendent forces, from the schools that are merely pseudo-organizations, has always been a highly contentious topic among esotericists. For Julius Evola, this question was one of central importance from an early point in his life. At the beginning of the 1920s, in the midst of his so-called philosophical phase, Evola came into contact with the teachings of Count Hermann Keyserling and his School of Wisdom, or Schule der Weisheit, in Darmstadt, Germany. Even by that time, Evola had already developed serious demands when it came to esoteric groups. Above all, he required that genuine training had to take place in the form of self-realizations that have their basis in the absolute autonomy of the personality, as opposed to their being accomplished in a participation mystique, in the words of Lévi-Bruhl. Evola's requirements in this regard can be traced back to the situation of his deceased friend Carlo Michelstädter, and as Evola clearly stated, Keyserling's School of Wisdom did not live up to them. Evola's verdict on the teachings of Rudolf Steiner and the Anthroposophical Society at this time was even more harsh. He specifically attacks Steiner's clairvoyance, which he contrasts with the intellectual intuition of scholasticism. Unlike Steiner's spiritual science, intellectual intuition concerns not only psychic regions, but also penetrates into the highest, purely spiritual realm of ideas. Evola further criticizes the anthroposophist belief in progress, their ideology of reincarnation and karma, and their concepts of morality, humility, and grace, which are related to Steiner's Christocentric worldview. As the result of the adaptation of the Tao Te Ching that he published, Evola also became acquainted in about 1924 with Decio Calvari, who was the head of an independent theosophical lodge in Rome. In Calvari he definitely found an interesting conversation partner, and one who introduced him to Tantrism. But the Theosophical Society itself did not escape Evola's criticism. Although some years would go by.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?